Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of An Interview With. Today I'm joined by the stunning, the beautiful Miss Angie Brown. How are you, darling?
Oh, that's me. I don't know about beautiful, that's sort of menopausal, sweaty. Yeah. So how are you? And how's Jake's people and your followers and, hope things, COVID times treating you good?
I'm good. We're nearly out of this lockdown malarkey now, so I'm glad to start getting out a bit more and start shopping again, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
How's lockdown been for you? How's it treated you?
It's okay. You know that I learnt to DJ. If you sort of like, I turn you a little bit more this way, you see the decks and stuff. It's survival of the fittest, isn't it? You have to keep your brand out there and your name, profile. So, I've seen people singing online, playing online, and they've got a little thing where you can do that, put money in their PayPal and stuff. So, I do that, but I play for free on Saturday afternoons.
Yeah.
To get better at playing, but but out of that, I do get paid work from different groups, just saying, "Oh, will you do a mix for us, or will you do an hour for us?" So, in that, guest DJ on people's groups and radio stations. So
that's great. Wow.
I'm slightly better than I think I am.
So I want to go back. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Or I think people are very patient with me.
So I want to go back to your career in Bizarre Inc. How did that happen? How did you become part of that little collective?
Oh, well, funnily enough, I used to freelance with all types of music, like rock, jazz, some blues, funk, soul. This was in the 80s before 90s started and house music came to be. So I was sort of like known to have quite a big voice. And I used to sing songs like, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what I'm doing. I just sing songs like that all the time. I'm not in the best of it, but I just was known on the circuit and in the live clubs in London as quite a strong singer. So basically, it's the case of right place, right time.
Yeah.
Because a talent scout that was trying to find a British girl who could sound a bit like Jocelyn Brown, which I'm very honoured about that. It came up to me and said, "Can you sing like Jocelyn?" And I just said, "Yeah, of course I can." Complete BS, because I'd never tried to really belt like Jocelyn, but the piece of music that Bizarre Inc. were using, why was she tapping? It was a song, but in the 90s, the young'uns came about with their Amstrad stereos and their like cassette. I mean, I don't know if you even remember cassette, Jake, but
I've got a cassette tape somewhere.
Yeah, and you do your own little mixtape. And they'd obviously found that Jocelyn Brown track and sampled it, and then they took it to a label. The label liked it and said, "We've got to find someone to re-sing it, because she's a really established artist already, and it's gonna cost them an arm and a leg to use the original artist." So so that fast forwards to me singing in these clubs in London. Their talent scout or someone, maybe the what do I call it? Artist and repertoire. Artist and repertoire person from the record company was looking for Jocelyn Brown sound-alike, and basically I auditioned and I got it, and it couldn't have taken me. It's so repetitive anyway. They just needed it. Needed me to, a clear vocal of it maybe 3 or 4 times. So in 20 minutes, I did it, and they said, "Oh, thank you. Sign here. You'll get this when it's out, and you'll get that." And and I thought, it won't come out anyway, so it don't matter. And I just thought, yeah, thank you. Some nice money in my bank account. Bye. I didn't think anything of it. And then 3 months later, it was in all the big shops. Back then, there was a Woolworths and H&B, Our Price, and record shops were everywhere because it was the thing, and everyone was still into vinyl. And it just took off. I can't say any more than that. Just took off. It went absolutely through the roof.
Could you give us a little rendition of the song? Just a quick little snippet for me.
All right. But, do you want me to do it with the? No, I won't do it with the. I'm not in the best of voice. Can hear it a little bit.
That's fine.
But I shall do. Right. It goes. Why waste your time? You know you're gonna be mine. You know you're gonna be mine. You know you're gonna be my baby. I'm gonna get you, baby. I'm gonna get you. Yes, I am.
Oh. It's such an iconic track, and when your voice comes in, you're just like, wow.
Well, to be honest, I think people are impressed if you can do it. And remember, it's nearly 92, so in 2 years it's going to be actually 30 years old, that track.
Wow.
So if you can imagine, some people, they kind of lose their voices or whatever over the years, but I still see my teacher. So it's like your voice is like a machine. You have to like you fix your car, you have to take care of it, and maybe go, steaming and go to the teacher, and she always makes you do all this lovely exercise, and gets the clarity and gets your voice open. So I've never taken that for granted. I mean, I went there as a child, so we've had a 40-year friendship, but I've never well, apart from when you were really young, and she says, "Oh, you should drink lots of water and exercise every day," and you think, doing that. But when you do it, and you might find an old tape, or I used to have it on a little is it a DAT tape thing, a little voice recorder? I don't know if you remember them, they were tiny. When I used to find a bit of footage of me doing a vocal exercise, I'd like, wow, I'd have two reactions, like, oh wow, you were in good voice that day, or you've really come on since that, that time. So or even you still now, it's like, oh, you still retained your range, and you have, you haven't blown your voice with partying too hard. So yeah, I'm very grateful. Between my teacher and my mum, who paid for the lessons, and I went along every week, and my brother used to really take the pee out of me. I always talk about him. He's proper black boy. Yeah, mum and dad wasting. Yeah, the wasting. Going, me, many men, and and la la la, and it's almost what I call Julie Andrews singing, and my brother was just so not impressed with it. And you're going something like my mum, or me, and you're doing all this kind of classical stuff, and he was just so not impressed. He thought, nah, she is just so right. And mum had to pay, because you're doing the rudiments, you're doing the classical side of things. It's almost like if you're learning the piano, and some people can just play, and there's other people you've got to do the scales. And it was, for me, I had to, some people are naturals and they keep their voices, but I definitely benefited from going to a good teacher.
I used to do singing lessons when I was younger as well. I stopped around 15, 16 because it just wasn't something that I wanted to keep up with anymore. I loved it when I was younger, and I took part in singing exams and stuff like that. But it got to a certain point for me where it was like that was what I was doing pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into college and did performing arts for a year, and I enjoyed it, but the singing and everything, it was just like they expected you to be like trying to think of a famous West End actor, like Michael Ball, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
but yeah, it's not something I wanted to carry on with. So with Bizarre Inc., you did some other tracks as well, didn't you, with them?
Yeah, I did Took My Love, and I did I'm known for playing with knives. Now,
Yeah.
the funny thing is with knives, well, Took My Love came out, and that was another sample from Jocelyn, and people didn't like that one so much because it was quite, for some reason, Bizarre went all grown up and tried to be like a band, and I thought, oh no, you're not. You're a bunch of producers and DJs, and stick with that. They were trying to copy Jamiroquai back in the day, and I was like, no, wrong direction. But you know, it wasn't my band for me to say. I was a featured artist. I was never in the band really.
Yeah.
So what happened with Playing with Knives is that came out in '91, the year before I joined them, and when I started PAing I'm Gonna Get You, the club promoter would always say, you've got to do knives, you've got to do knives. And I was like, I didn't sing it. And they were like, we don't care, girl, we got to do it. So I started doing it. And I used to explain at the beginning, oh, this came out a year before I joined. And people weren't interested. So I just get on with it. I just sing it. I don't try to make any excuses anymore because oh, look at me having a hot flush because it's so hot in London today. Look, this is what happens to old ladies. But basically, people didn't really care where the track come from. All they knew was a really good track, and you have to sing it. And because of Bizarre, I just got associated with it anyway. Yeah. And actually, that was one of the songs that was way too high for my voice when I started. I've got a rainbow fan in here somewhere. I need to find it from one of the prides. But basically, because it was Bizarre and people like that beat of them, and because I was associated with them, they didn't really care who sung what year or what. You better sing it. And it was too high with that was all too high for me back in the day. So that's showing you that my range has got better over the years because I couldn't sing it at in the 90s. I couldn't. I used to just kind of mime to it.
Yeah.
And then I went back to see Nettie, who's my teacher, and I just said to Nettie said, "Oh, my Angie's sounding a little bit, bit rough around the edges, a bit like when you learn to drive and then you just develop all these bad habits."
Yeah.
So I started, going back to the Nimes and all the little singing, and suddenly I was hitting it and hitting all the big notes in that. It is really soprano if you listen to it. It's like,
yeah.
It goes down, breath, it's all soprano, so I was like, I mean, it's so different to I'm Gonna Get You. It's full on chest voice. It was good for me. Oh, look at me. Anyway, at least I know. At least everyone knows it's a true recording because I've got a fan over there, you see, everyone, but it keeps interrupting our chat, so I can't have it on. But yeah.
Right. So with I'm Gonna Get You, you re-recorded it as well, didn't you? Is that right? I read somewhere that you did.
I did a sort of more of a pop version of it, which was really, to put it politely, more of a pop version, more for my high energy and gay followers. It wasn't really heavy, trancey or clubby and back in the day rave. It was lighter and more fun, and and it's got a really mad video with it, which I don't know if you've ever seen the video, and everyone's really bendy Asian people dancing, and it's just amazing the way they dance it. And it's like they
I don't know where they got the footage from, but it's like they haven't got any limbs. It's like they haven't got any bones the way they're moving. It's really good and very comical. But then the club people got annoyed by saying, you know, like, original's best, Angie, and why did you interfere with it? But what I might do actually for the 30th anniversary, I might redo it. Just you know, I mean, when it's done in an edgy, more clubby way, it's more credible. Put it that way. So not everybody liked the fun, upbeat kind of comedic version, but lighter version. But it still did well sales wise. So, you know, and at least the guys that I did it with, John Perza and Darren Hodson, at least they're good guys, and you see the checks. You know, when you sell something, you get something back. Unlike some of the other labels I've worked with, you don't, you know that the sales have been good, or you can see it, you know, because the internet tells you everything, doesn't it? You can see if something had views, streams, YouTube. I never see any of that. You never see any of it. That is the negative part of the industry, especially dance labels. They tend to make the money and then shut the label down. But so there's no dance artist that hasn't been ripped off. So the best thing to do is, if you can do it live, go out and do it live, because that way you'll make some money back. You know what I mean?
So if you're looking for any backup singers, backing vocals for the 30th anniversary edition, hit me up. I'll record some.
Yeah, but get you doing the old Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's quite interesting. I did all the vocals on that, because even the "I'm gonna get you bit," you know, the quiet bit, and then you know, so I did it all, because I was the only singer in the studio at that time, actually, and I remember speaking to them quite attitudey, like, "Oh, hurry up and do this, I've got to sing at a wedding tomorrow," I said to them. And sometimes you can go in the studio and people can burn you out, but do it again and do another take. Yeah. And it's such a big thing. I just thought, no, I ain't spending too much time singing that chorus. That's a burnout. That's a belt, and it's a burnout chorus. But, you know, after singing it nearly 30 years, I know. I know how to sing around it and not burn myself out too much. But back then I thought, I'm going to sound really, really rough and raspy in a minute, because it's so big. Why wait? I was like, hurry up with the headphones on. And no, wait, can you do the middle bit? And I was like, I'm going to get you, baby. And then the big voice was, I'm going to get you, yes, ma'am. I'm going to get you, baby. I was like, have you got all the bits? Thank you, bye. I was quite rude to them in the studio. Not rude, but you know, direct and abrupt. Yeah. Like, to the point, because I weren't going to be, you know, I've worked for many producers who don't know what they want, so you end up, you know, it's like you keep shining something up and then it just loses its shine. That's what happens when you sing and over sing, and it's like flogging a dead horse, you know. After a while, the energy goes and you start to, you know, with me, it's best you just get it. When I get in there in the first half an hour, let's do it, let's sing it. I'm warmed up, let's do it. Woo! And we do it, and we got it. Bye. You know, I'm not one of those artists like 2 hours later, like an hour later, I'll be crying. You know, you don't. I would, you know, and I have done sessions where I've just put my coat on and gone home. I just felt, you lot don't know what you want, and I'm not doing this, and I'm no longer doing this. I'm gone. Yeah. But most people think, sorry?
I don't blame you.
Yeah, exactly, because it's exhausting. But most people have got some of the other singers that I work with, house artists, they've got, you know, like I've got a setup here with the DJing. Well, they've got their studio even on GarageBand, you can record your own vocals, and then just because technology's come such a long way, and then I don't know, I guess compromise it, or sorry, or make it, compress it, or whatever, make a WAV file, and then send it to a studio like that, and you don't have to leave your home, because you can get a brief on what they want, how they want it, and you put your phones on and you do it at home, you know, and you record it at home. But I can't do that yet, and I've got a mic here actually for, you know, for recording, but a cradle mic. But I need a vocal booth. Yeah. Probably costs a good, I don't know, 2, 3, 4. You know, money in COVID, very tight time. So I'll have to treat myself to a vocal booth as soon as we're up and working again, which I hope will be this year at some point.
I hope so as well. It's beginning to get to me now. I want to go out and party, and obviously it was meant to be Chesterfield Pride this weekend, I think. Yeah, this weekend. Yeah. On the 20th, is it 26th? Yeah, it was meant to be this Sunday, the 26th. Yeah, so...
well, it's Pride season, isn't it, Jake? Yeah. It's actually Pride season, so I'm missing it. And prior to COVID as well, you would have never known how much you need atmosphere. And I mean, who goes into an empty restaurant? Who goes into an empty club? Nobody. Exactly. Everybody. We need each other to make life nice. You know, I can't tell you how much I appreciate my job from not you know, being at home all these months. Yeah. So, you know, the positive thing is I can practice the DJing, but it's the people and people around you, and people make your life, you know, and that adrenaline you get from doing a gig. Yeah. Oh, I was on a downer. I was like, actually, that's why I put on a stone. Because it was like 25 Christmas days, wasn't it? COVID. And let's have another packet of Monster Munch. Yeah, I'll have them Jaffa cakes, darling.
Yeah, that explains my triple chin now.
I know, you're like me. We've got the same birthday as well. Yeah. When we're on it, aren't we?
But we're not.
I know, because the last time you were like a pencil when I saw you. And when we're bad, we're really bad, and I know that. But I always bring it back to work. I mean, like at the moment, I've got no nails on. You know, I've been, I had my hair braided, which I call reptilian, like a little reptile, because there was no gigs, and it was, and you couldn't get to the hairdressers. You know what I mean? She saw me. She saw me just before COVID started, and then when Boris said, "Oh, you can go back," and about 3 weeks ago, she just did this, and I thought, well, there's no gigs, and I've always got my straight ponytail on, and you just had to make adjustments in blinking COVID. And I thought I'd see the glass half full instead of half empty. Thought, learn how to DJ, learn more about. Because all those knobs, excuse the pun, but the knobs, they scare me. Like on the kit, all this kit. It's scary. It's like you don't know what you're doing, Ange. And you look at you. You're in the house game. You're on with all these DJs for years. You can't DJ. I thought I'm going to learn how to do it. It's how people started at the beginning of COVID. I'm going to learn a language, and I'm going to learn an instrument. It was all very positive at the beginning. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to get on my treadmill every day." No way. No. No. Stay in bed, watch Good Morning, and have another Jaffa cake.
So I want to talk about The Voice. You appeared on The Voice. Did they ask you, did you audition? What was the what happened with The Voice?
Yeah, actually came through you know how they do ask agents for people, and they do sort of like push you in that direction. And my friend Zoe, she was doing some TV agency stuff, and she said, why don't you go for it? So I went for it. There still wasn't any leeway to go through the back door. It wasn't like I immediately got on the show because the TV agent got me. The TV agent just told me about the audition, and I thought, I'll go for it. And then I thought if I did get on it, it would be good exposure. Yeah. It would be good for me as a brand, as a you know, for my profile. And you know, with dance music, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of people don't know what we look like, because actually from the 50s right through, from Elvis or, you know, bands in the 50s, 60s, the Byrds, Diana Ross, whatever, right to the 80s, you know, people were pinned up, and people were like posters. They're in the magazines, in the kid magazines with the pop music. But with 90s music, for some reason, because it was independent, it wasn't with a big label. It was, you know, it was like with Leroy and in his mum's front room. Do you know what I mean? And it was like nobody pushed you as an artist, because it didn't matter what you looked like. They weren't selling the sex side of it. They were selling the sound of you. And you know, you might be in the video. I am in the video with loads of dancers. And I'm barely in it because the record company didn't really want me to have too much exposure for it, because it was supposed to be about the three boys. It's supposed to be about the Darring, which is because I'm the featured artist. It wasn't my record deal. And so really, the point that I'm trying to say is that we weren't really marketed like maybe, I don't know, another pop star of the day that did have a record deal with a major label. We were very disposable. So basically, when it comes to house music, sometimes people don't know what you look like. So I thought it would be nice for people to say, oh, that's the girl who sings that song. Because the song's never gone away, as you know. House doesn't go away. It's always on the radio still. It's never dated, thank God in heaven. It's never dated. It always still sounds good. So we got that big tick in the box. And Zoe said, go for it. So I went for it. This is back to The Voice now. I went for The Voice, and I got through, but I had to audition about 3 or 4 times, about 5 times. You know, you go back again, and then they water it down a bit, and you get through that session, you go back and back, and you keep going back. And then about by the 5th time, I thought, I'm going to get on the show. I know I'm going to get on it. They keep asking me back. You have to see a psychologist. And I thought, you know, she did say to me, I think they don't want angry people on the show, or people that they think might turn and start stalking the judges. I mean, they're coaches on that show, and be angry should they not turn around. So I just said to the psychologist, I'm not that type of person. You know, I'm not, you know, not psycho. I'm not, you know, they ask you things like if you're on drugs and stuff like that. I'm like, babe, I'm 50. You know, you don't look good if you take that stuff all your life. You know, it shows. You know what I mean? So when I answered her like that, she said, yeah, you're right. And I said, she said to me, what if they don't turn around? I said, if they don't turn around, I will still walk out of there with my head held high. And so I went on to do it, as you know, and they didn't turn around. And I, you know, I was deflated at the time, and I really, sorry?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I can remember watching it, and obviously my mum knows the song, and I knew the song as well. I was upset no one turned around, because you were one of the ones on there that actually could sing, if you get what I mean. Like, you had the voice. You still got the voice, to be honest. And for them not to turn around, they were grooving in the chairs. I was just like, turn around.
yeah, what can I do for her? And, you know, I mean, what kind of artist goes on there thinking, well, I can sing every song, you know? I mean, they said, what could we do with her? I'm not overconfident. There's loads of songs that I wouldn't sing. Nita Baker, Stevie Wonder. There's loads of songs that as a singer, Angie Brown, I feel I'm never going to sing that song because it feels out of my range, feels out of my depth. So when they were saying, what could we do for her? There's still lots to learn in life. You know, you're not at the top of your game. You're not. And I just thought this is really sad because if you ever find the long bit of footage on YouTube, you'll see the interview bit. And will.i.am says to me, he goes, what did he say? He goes, I told Fergie to sing like you on Boom Boom Pow. Literally, he said, he talks that fast. He said, I told Fergie to sing like you on Boom Boom Pow, you know, boom boom pow, boom 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 pow. But he said it like in his way. I told Fergie to sing like you on Boom Boom Pow. I stood there and I thought, you're really conceited, because I said, yeah, okay, I did say, if you told Fergie to sing like me, what happened? And he said, Angie, you're the one that got away. And I thought, do you know what? They couldn't turn around. It's a TV program.
Yeah.
It's programmed. They've got a thing in their ear telling them, the director or someone, not to turn around. And because I'm professional, but, you know, and I think that if they can humiliate you on that show, they would. But they're in a win-win situation. If you go out there and you nail it and you're good, it's good for ratings. And if you're super bad and you're all over the place and then say, 25 years ago, she had a hit record and look at her now, she's all washed up, it's still good telly.
Yeah.
It's that kind of telly like that. You watch it through, you think, oh, no. But it's still good telly when it comes to ratings. Because I went on there singing Valerie, and somebody must have done their research, because you have to go with your passport and stuff. And they said, would you like to sing your big hit? And I thought, yes, I would like to sing that, because I could see it. They think, yeah, she's going to go out there and she's going to be shit. And I went out there and I chained it. And I was like, and you know, if you ever watch the footage, you're only on there for 90 seconds. So that's a minute and a half, right? And they said to me, we're not going to start with the da-da-da-da-da-da. And that gives me my, you know, when singers do a little and all that just warms you up for the note that you're going to go for.
Yeah.
So I've been singing it for 25 years, going da-da-da-da-da-da, and I know I'm going to go, what? I know exactly where I'm going to go after doing the da-da. And they said, we haven't got time for that bit. I'm sure they did that to throw me. And the drummer, you look at it, I'm rabbit in the headlights. So I'm all eyes and never heard it with a live band before. And the drummer goes, 1, 2, 3. Why? I said, on the note, straight into the note. You can see it if you look. If you ever look back on it, you can see. I'm like, because they get you all scared as well. They get your adrenaline by saying, if you do it wrong, we can't re-record. If you fall, if you slip, if you trip, anything, they will not re-record.
Oh God!
So I walked out there. And my heart was do-dum, do-dum, do-dum. And I looked around and the drummer, and I was like, oh my God, get your bat ears on, Ange. And it's because the drummer's way behind me and he's going, 1, 2, wait, straight in, come on. And then the audience were like, as soon as I did that why, if you watch it, they're up on the beat.
Yeah.
I get a standing ovation from the first note, right?
Yeah, you do.
And that's why I knew it was. I knew my boys would be crying, because afterwards I knew in that little green room.
Oh.
My boys were tiny. They'd have, Bobby, they were crying so much. I had to say to them, boys, you know, no one died and Mummy's fine. And, you know, I remember walking up the stairs. Actually, Tom Jones came up to me and I said in his ear, said, Tom, I'm not being funny, but I know that you like my type of voice. And he said, he's got 10 girls. And I thought, yeah, I hear you. He said he needed 2 guys on the show. And then, and on the day as well, because it was pre-recorded a couple of months before it came out.
Yeah.
And Kylie and loads of named people like Sunita, I think, and loads of people, Radio 1, Radio 2, they all sent me a message on Twitter.
Oh.
This was the day it was coming out, because Radio 1 was saying, oh, Angie Brown's going to be on The Voice, and they had it as a little clip to watch on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And, you know, because they know that I can sing. And then when it went out on the Sunday, went out on a Saturday night, on the Sunday, the program people from the program makers or the producers of the show, they did ring my mobile and said, did you like it? I said, I did like it. Yeah. I did like how they put the footage together and how they made me look and sound. I mean, because it wasn't going to do me any damage.
No.
And I thought, you lot are going to look like you've got egg on your faces. Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. And there's a bit that they cut out. Is it Ricky from the Kaiser Chiefs?
Yeah.
Ricky from the Kaiser Chiefs. Yeah. I predict a riot. Whatever. He actually says, his question to me at one point was, so who sings house music? Well, there's no call for house music. And I thought, where's he been? I said, house music has never gone away. It's only disco sped up. Disco bass. You can hear the Barry White strings. You can hear the harmonies. You can hear the vocal. And then, funnily enough, when they showed it, a massive house tune was in the charts at that time. It's called Look Right Through, like you never knew.
Yeah, that one.
All the pain that I've been through. Woke up this morning, looked outside. It's a tune. That was number 1 at the time. So they had to cut him out because he looked like a proper. He did.
Oh, God.
Saying that. There's no call for house music. Like, you're not in tune, mate. House has never gone away. What are you talking about?
Have you got any future projects coming up in the pipeline that you can mention?
Yeah.
Or?
I've never stopped. I've never stopped working. Okay, I've never really had another huge hit like I'm Gonna Get You. I've never. And you've got to check the era. Records were selling. People were going to the shop and buying physical records and CDs, and I've got a CD. You know, so things have changed. As you know, people can download it for free or go to a crap site and get it. You know, so you don't expect sales to be like it used to be. But people the clubbers, especially clubbers who really like my voice, they research me or they go on to iTunes. If you go into iTunes, you'll see like, I don't know, like at least 1,000 songs that have come out or been on Head Candy or a dance compilation. So I've always got tunes out, always. It's just that they go into club land and they don't cross over like, you know, because sales are not the same. I mean, the first week of I'm Gonna Get You came out, it sold 44,000, and you can get to number 1 with 10,000 tracks now.
Wow.
So it had to do about 40 or 50,000 before the big stores like Woolworths would have stocked it in. Yeah. So you could walk into the shop and think, oh, I'm getting some greens and I'll get that record because I've heard the record. You know, people could buy it. Yeah. But they wouldn't stock it. Virgin Records, all the record shops would not stock it unless they see the public, there's a demand for it. And you can. It sold 2 million around the world. It might have even sold more now because America loved it and they still play it. And when I meet Americans, I sang that song and they go, "Ah, you sang that song! I love that song!" So I know that I know it's global. I do know it's a global tune, and I went to America a lot back in the day singing it.
Yeah.
And it just, but record sales have changed a lot. So I know that you can, because to me, you can get to #1 with 10,000 sales. That's a spit in the ocean. But yeah, to get back to your question, I'm always doing projects, and I have got new things coming out, and I do want to mix it in with the DJing, because I also go out live a lot as a doing PA, and it's always in a big dance tent with other 90s artists, with other DJs, Radio 1, Kiss FM, all the cool kids, and because you're appealing to a younger audience who know the record but give less of a damn. Yeah. It's quite hard to get on, after someone's played the big bangers. So hence I've learned how to play with the knobs.
Oh.
Yeah, so that I can go on with the big bangers, and then do I'm Gonna Get You and Playing with Knives, and keep that crowd, because you're playing to a younger crowd. If you stop and go, "Hi, I'm Angie and I'm a singer," you're just going to lose the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people go, "Oh, I can hear the roar from the main," and the strobes going off from the main stage. They're gone. So you take over from that DJ, and you're DJing, and you're like, "Yeah, woo, come on, it's a tune," and you're playing as well. And then, I could even go on to "I'm Gonna Get You," give them a little taste of it, and then whack it into, say a little prayer or something else that I do as a little taster, like, yeah, it's coming, not quite yet, but it's coming. And
then you hit them with the big note.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's about entertaining, and you have to move with the times. And if you've got to change a few things, then you've got to change a few things. It's another string to my bow.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, because I'm learning this at 57. I'm closer to 60. I know, I'm closer to 60 than 30. So to come with it, I'm doing that. Yeah, I feel really, I feel like 20 years younger that I know how to. It's only high, middle, and low, but it's so many buttons and stuff. It was daunting, but now that I've been to the DJ school, I'm like, bring it. And because it's all on the stick, and we don't need to take. I mean, my brother, he's got hundreds and hundreds. He's got records. There's loads of records back there. It's not on vinyl anymore, and it's not on CD anymore. It's on a little tiny stick. So you're going to get lots of girls. I predict in about 10 years, loads of women are going to be DJing, because they've just got to carry a little stick, and it'll be in there. In your handbag.
I love that. I think me and you should do a duet together.
Yeah, but you were going to ask me to do some backing vocals on one of your tracks. So when you started doing like your drag thing and blah blah blah, and you were saying, "Oh, Angie, I'm writing this, that, and the other," because we've been mates for a little while now. Yeah. And I think you sent me something. And it's sounding good. But then you didn't get back to me with what you wanted me to do on it, and I think we kind of like drifted apart, because life takes over and you just do other things, don't you? And if people keep goading me as well. Yeah. And I think that, because you said, "Oh, we're doing this thing," and I said to you when for the people watching, when Jake said to me, "Oh, Angie, I want you to be on the show," I was like, "Where's my diary? I need to write it down."
She did.
I need to write it down, because even in COVID, I've double booked myself last week when I was playing live with all the named DJs and stuff, like Chelsea was on it, and Andy Galea, and Alex P. Brandon Block, and I was playing on that, but I also said that I would do a live thing for Western, and I was like, Western City Mayor Pride. And I thought, you can't have double booked yourself in COVID. You can't, but I did. And so I was very, very lucky. My promoter, I explained to him that, it's Western, it's Pride season, and I messed up. And I think I'm just saying, because there's no gig. You know, I just going, yeah, of course I'll do it. And then it was on the same day, and they wanted me to do a live stream from my home, but I wasn't at home. I was in Wales. So I did they let me tether Western on with Man Down. Man Down, it was raising money for the veterans.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, when the veterans come home, some of them are homeless. It's like, these people have gone out and died and lost a limb and whatever. The government can't treat you like that. That's awful.
No.
But I think that it's not. I shouldn't really say the government, but I think a lot of people rely on people's charity, charity, to take care, because they know that people have got a heart. So anyway, so that was a fundraiser for the veterans. And they let me tether to Western on all these different platforms like Twitter and Vimeo and YouTube. And then I did it on my phone. I remember saying to people, don't ring me on my phone. No, not to ring. Nobody. Because I'm so tacky, right? I forgot the iPad, and I was like, oh my God, and my hands were shaking like that when I was trying to get into the to do all the go live on Facebook. I was shaking. And when I went live, I think I had 10 minutes before they went live, and there's all this backroom stuff going on where I'm, you know, they're going, here's some water, Angie, and I was pregnancy panting. I was like this, because it was so nerve-wracking for me to be going out on all these platforms. And I was saying to people, don't ring me, none of you. Don't. It's an hour of, you know, and anyway, I did the hour. And then Nigel from Western Supermare Pride said, oh, darling, that was great, but you said you'd do the last 10 minutes of Western Supermare Pride. There's a slot for you because you're our headliner. And so what I had to do was, of course, my slot on the Man Down thing, gone. So I said to my friend Habs, he does all the lighting and stuff and all the backdrops for us. I said, have you got a, can your car accommodate a memory stick? And he said, yeah. So I plugged it in and sang it in the car, which they loved. They kept moving the camera around, they kept moving, and they loved it. And I see it on Facebook today. I see that they've shared it onto, you know, everyday Facebook. They've shared it. You know, I sent it just to their events page, but it's a really good bit of footage because it's off the cuff, and I think that people are very forgiving at the moment. They're just happy to have any entertainment whatsoever. I mean, you know, this moment in time with this COVID time, Corona. It's taught people a lot, and to be appreciative, and literally anything will do. And I said, I'm going to sing it in the car, and I'm just going to have fun with it. And they loved it. And I don't know what they're trying to do with it. I guess they're trying to make it go viral, but I look like a crazy woman in a car singing.
I love that.
You know.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on my show today. It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you.
We always have a laugh when we speak anyway.
We do, but you can't shut me up though. I can talk for England.
Shut up.
You know, I'm a good guest to interview because you won't have any of those long silences like this.
Yeah. So how are you? You'd be like,
yeah. You know, sometimes on those countdown TV shows, they show the worst interview ever. And Michael Parkinson's trying to interview someone and he can't get any. I mean, when you do chat, come on, you're supposed to chat. And there's arsey people go, like, you know, monosyllabic one word answer. You can't do that. If you're gonna chat, got to give your heart, you know. And people gave him the dirtiest looks if he, you know, asked a question that they thought he shouldn't be asking, you know. And I thought, what an arsehole! Why did your manager let you go on a chat show? So yeah, I love chatting. I love my job. I like I like the people. I love what I do. So I feel very blessed that people are remotely interested in me. So yeah, I feel really extremely happy that anybody reaches out to me, Jake, in truth. So
when I was doing this chat show, I was thinking of what guests who I'd want on the show for my first series. Well, first off, I didn't even think it was going to turn into a series. I was just going to do it as a one-off.
Oh, well, that's Lou. That's somebody phoning me like they do. So you know, we've got through most of it. There was 2 calls today. But
we're keeping that in. That's brilliant.
I know what you're saying. It's good. It's good. It's great that it's a success for you, darling. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had to ask you to be a part of it because obviously we've been friends. Like you said, we've been friends for a long time now, and
yeah,
obviously your background and your current career is iconic, and people know you for a lot of things. And so I was like, I'll ask her, see if she'll do it, because I've got you, I've got Sean Smith from the X Factor, who's in Same Different. Yeah. I've got Lolly, okay, and then I've got Donna Marie.
Oh, lovely.
So they're all going out on every Tuesday. So
well done for being innovative and thinking of something different to do. And you are helping us to keep our profile out there, and I appreciate it.
Could you tell my followers where to find you, your social media links, where to follow you? And
yeah. You can find me on Angie Brown on Instagram, or you can find me on Angie Brown on Facebook. I have got like a DJ. It was called DJ House Singer, but I couldn't. It's just best to just have one profile on Insta. Just have one profile, and people are going to know that you're DJing anyway. So like Ultranate DJs as Ultranate. So why should I have another DJ handle? Just plain old Angie Brown. You can find me on Insta or Facebook. I don't do Twitter. I've got an account, but I never. Oh, I don't like it. It's cold and it's bitchy. So no, not doing cold and bitchy. Doing nice and warm. So and touchy feely. Yeah. And do you want to check out the glasses, baby? Anyway, I've got to go and pick my son up from the barbers. So take care, darling.
Thank you very much for being on the show, Angie. Love you lots.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Love you, darling. Big kiss.